Welcome to Women's Rugby Rundown 246 for May 11th through the 17th. England secured an impressive 8th consecutive Guinness Women's Six Nations crown, while Tunisia achieved a flawless promotion to the top tier of the Africa Cup in 2027. Over in the Sevens world, Sri Lanka hoisted the inaugural Central Asia Rugby Association Sevens title. Melina became the most decorated team in Brazil Sevens history, and Shogun got back to their winning ways in Oxford. Domestically, WER Round 3 shook up the standings. Life University completed an unprecedented national treble at the USA Club Championships, and Spain's Liga Iberdrola finalized a heavyweight championship matchup. I'm Wendy, here to bring you the latest in women's rugby news. This is your Women's Rugby Rundown, and we're about to kick off. We'll start with international sevens news. Sri Lanka marched away with the gold medal at the inaugural Central Asia Rugby Association Championship. They put on an absolute clinic in the showpiece match, stringing together a clinical 27-0 shutout against a highly capable Kazakhstan side. The Kazakh squad ultimately collected the silver medal as runners-up, while the host nation, Uzbekistan, gave the local crowd plenty to cheer about by grinding out a 24-14 victory over India to lock down the bronze medal. This inaugural tournament marks a major step forward for developmental pathways across Central Asia, showing a rapid rise in structural standard as these nations look to bridge the gap with the established Asian powerhouses on the global circuit. Over in South America, the domestic sevens landscape saw a legendary side cement its status as an absolute powerhouse. Melina navigated an incredibly tough knockout field to lift their third Brazil Sevens crown and their fifth national sevens title overall. They squeaked past a stubborn Poli side 19-12 in the semifinals before launching a dramatic second-half comeback against Rio de Janeiro's El Shaddai, sealing the 12-5 victory with a last-minute try from Claudinha Beltran. El Shaddai took home a highly respected silver medal, while Poli dusted themselves off to claim the bronze over Pastor in a physical Sao Paulo derby. Switching over to the UK, the lit Super 7 circuit witnessed a familiar champion storm back into the spotlight. Defending series holders Shogun turned the tables on the competition in Oxford, snapping up the elite title with an incredibly assertive performance. They directly disrupted the top of the leaderboards by handling the opening round winners, the Hammerheads, a definitive loss to prove their championship pedigree remains intact. The result throws the overall series championship wide open and sets up a massive race for points later this summer. Teams now take a breather during a quick midseason break before the circuit reconvenes on June 13th at Hertford Sevens. Looking ahead, World Rugby's elite tier is preparing to ignite Spain as the HSBC Sevens World Championship has stopped 2 in Valladolid from May 29th to 31st. New Zealand currently leads the charge after an incredible finish in Hong Kong, but Australia, France, and the USA are hot on their heels in a stacked top 4 that has completely dominated the global campaign. The real drama for us, though, sits at the bottom of the table, where core teams face a desperate struggle to preserve their top flight status for next year. With only 2 stops left to secure survival, the high-pressure format offers promoted tournament hosts like Spain a golden opportunity to cause total chaos on home soil. We also have a brand new entity entering the global landscape with the official launch of Ultimate Sevens, set to debut this August. Funded by BIA Sports Group, the commercial team behind Sunderland AFC, this fresh competition will feature 6 dual-gender franchises going head-to-head across 4 European destination cities. To completely redefine the viewer experience and capture younger demographics, the league is ditching standard weekend setups for fast-paced Thursday night blocks featuring abbreviated 10-minute halves designed for primetime broadcast. This modern structure aims to elevate player profiles and establish a highly sustainable financial ecosystem for the sport. Now over to international 15s news. The Red Roses have extended their era of absolute supremacy, overcoming a ferocious French outfit in Bordeaux to secure their 8th straight Guinness Women's Six Nations title and a staggering 5th consecutive Grand Slam. Driven by a clinical set piece and an outstanding 2-try performance from Ellie Kildunn, England withstood a noisy crowd to finish 43-28. The victory pushes their world record winning streak to an unbelievable 38 consecutive test matches, ensuring they successfully continue to defend the Utrecht Shield, a lineal world title they have held firmly in their grasp since October 12, 2024. The clinical display solidifies their status as the world number 1, heading deeper into the global calendar. In Dublin, Ireland finished their tournament on an emotional high, putting together a blistering 7-try opening half to overwhelm Scotland 54-5. While the bonus point was huge for the standings, the real heart of the day was Ireland hoisting the inaugural Siobhan Cadogan Trophy, a brand new piece of silverware created alongside the Scottish Union to honor the memory of the late loose forward. Played in front of a historic standalone crowd of over 31,000 fans at the Aviva Stadium, the match provided a spectacular showcase for the sport while celebrating a deeply meaningful legacy that unites both rugby unions. Meanwhile, Italy ensured Wales would endure a grim winter, capitalizing on a spectacular second-half explosion to secure a 43-24 bonus point win in Cardiff. Trailing at halftime after a highly erratic seesaw opening period, the Italians completely flexed their muscles up front, punishing Welsh handling mistakes and a failing lineout with 4 unanswered scores. The ruthless display allowed Italy to power away comfortably in the final quarter, leaving the hosts completely anchored to the bottom of the table with a second consecutive tournament wooden spoon. Down in Tunis, the host nation put together an extraordinary defensive masterpiece to sweep the Rugby Africa Cup Division 1. Tunisia started their campaign by hanging an 85-0 shutout on Ivory Coast before returning to the pitch to blank Morocco 54-0. By keeping their try line completely safe all week, Tunisia finished comfortably at the top of the standings to book their ticket to the 2027 Rugby Africa Cup, completing a flawless promotional campaign that sets a towering standard for North African rugby. However, Tunisia's form has amplified voices within the region questioning the total disappearance of Nigeria from mainstream continental competition. Despite a rich domestic foundation stretching back to 2003, advocates like foundational coach Obong Nu Tiens Williams are demanding immediate structural intervention, highlighting that the ongoing exclusion of rugby from the Nigerian National Sports Festival is actually choking the development pipeline. Advocates are petitioning the National Sports Commission to restore Olympic team sports to the national games to preserve grassroots talent. The attention now shifts immediately to Nairobi, where the marquee 2026 Rugby Africa Cup premiere takes over from May 23rd to the 31st. The South Africans enter as heavy favorites to defend their long-standing crown, but they will have to contend with a highly motivated Kenya Lionesses team playing on their home turf. Rounding out the competitive group are a dangerous Madagascar squad known for their lightning-fast, wide-open tempo, and a freshly promoted Uganda team looking to shake up the hierarchy after claiming the lower division title last year. In the Caribbean, the Rugby Americas North Interregional Tournament started with a physical clash as Trinidad and Tobago successfully defended their home turf against Jamaica. Controlling the collision from the opening whistle, the hosts stifled Jamaica's offensive threats to secure a 27-13 victory to open their international account. Now all eyes are firmly locked on Mexico as they prepare to launch their own highly anticipated RAN campaign. They enter the tournament carrying a massive reputation as the reigning regional champions, and they will be looking to aggressively assert their dominance right from the opening whistle. Mexico's first test comes this weekend against a wounded Jamaica squad, but the true blockbuster matchup on the schedule is locked in for June 6th. The final round showdown will see Mexico collide with Trinidad and Tobago in what is already shaping up to be the definitive championship deciding match of the tournament. Looking ahead to the weekend, Saturday is an absolute blockbuster packed with intense regional rivalries and silverware on the line. As we just mentioned, the Africa Cup top tier opens in Nairobi, and then the RAN 15s tournament will continue as well. This is typically the weekend that the South American Sevens would kick off, but we haven't seen much information, so we'll keep an eye for that one. If history is any indicator, we expect to see rising regional powers like Colombia and Paraguay taking the pitch to battle. Brings a massive European showdown as Spain prepares for a domestic masterpiece featuring a colossal battle where the undefeated underdogs El Salvador look to officially dethrone the reigning Liga Iberdrola champions Majadahonda. In off-the-pitch news, Canada's sports system is experiencing severe internal friction despite a federal announcement of a $755 million funding boost. With individual distributions still unconfirmed, national sport organizations are dealing with intense immediate deficits, highlighted by Cycling Canada pulling its women's pursuit team from the World Championships and Rugby Canada athletes preparing to crowdfund their upcoming World Cup campaign, drawing visible frustration from star scrum half Olivia Apps, who wants to see an end to elite players relying on public charity. Finally, we continue to track the announcements from the unions for the WXV Global Series. The WXV has moved to a decentralized home and away touring framework for its top tier, making the master schedule highly fluid as individual unions finalize their hosting deals. Right now, it looks like the main competition splits between Europe in September and the Southern Hemisphere in October. The second-tier challenger division is officially locked in for 3 triple-header match days at Hong Kong's brand new Kai Tak Sports Park starting September 13th, creating an incredible platform for emerging global test sides. The Six Nations Committee is announcing that every single round of the women's tournament will move exclusively to Saturdays. This Super Saturday format aims to create a dedicated weekly broadcast window, building on a record-breaking 2026 season that saw stadium attendance skyrocket by nearly 99% and cumulative viewership top 12 million. The structural evolution ensures fans get a premium, consistent viewing experience every single week of the tournament. Now over to domestic news. In the Americas, Women's Elite Rugby delivered another round of high-scoring thrillers that completely turned the league hierarchy on its head, leaving absolutely no undefeated teams remaining in the competition. The Denver Onyx kept pace by securing their second win, traveling east to dispatch the Boston Banshees 52-19. while the New York Exiles bagged their first victory of the year with an offensive explosion at Memorial Field, taking down the Chicago Tempest 40-19. The true shockwave of the weekend, however, occurred at TCO Stadium, where TC Gemini found their rhythm at home to utterly cruise past the previously unblemished Bay Breakers 42-10. By halting the league leaders in their tracks, TC Gemini officially climbs to the top of the table, creating chaos in the standings as team head into their first bye week. The USA Club National Championships wrapped up in Illinois, with Life University writing an incredible chapter in club history. The Running Eagles captured the Division I crown with a 69-12 victory over the Utah Vipers, completing an unprecedented national triple alongside their college 15s-a-side and 7s titles. This stunning entry into the senior club circuit came after CRAA collegiate league restructures left the Running Eagles feeling that the university field no longer provided adequate elite-level competition to properly challenge their powerhouse program. Division II, Life West climbed back to the top step of the podium, grinding out a hard-fought 24-12 victory over the Tampa Bay Crew. Now in Europe, the stage is set for a phenomenal Liga Iberdrola finale after the semifinals wrapped up in Spain, locking in a heavyweight title clash for next weekend on Sunday, May 24th. El Salvador booked their spot in emphatic fashion, running in 11 tries to blow past Crat Coruña 71-7 after recovering from a shaky opening 10 minutes. They will meet defending champions Majadahonda, who survived an incredibly tight physical away fixture to eliminate Getxo 21-12. Premiership Women's Rugby received a large corporate boost through a multi-year partnership with Mitsubishi Electric Europe. The deal will directly sponsor the league and inject critical resources into the Rugby Players Association's Thrive program, creating specialized dual career toolkits to help elite players balance professional corporate employment alongside their rugby commitments. The investment provides critical off-field stability as the elite domestic environment continues to formalize. That does it for us. As always, you can find more news on our site at yscrugby.com. Never miss an episode of Women's Rugby Rundown by subscribing everywhere you get your podcasts from.